Good afternoon and welcome back into the ASUG News Studio. We are broadcasting live here at SAP Business Objects User Conference 2013. We are also in the Optimal Solutions studio here, sponsored by them, and we're delighted to welcome back Jeremy Stierwalt into the theater. Jeremy, thanks for coming back in.
Yeah, great, thank you.
So we're going to talk about some future of analytics today, which I think is a really cool topic. First, can you just talk about Optimal Solutions for those who don't know you and what's your role there?
Sure, absolutely. So Optimal is a SAP services firm, and so we've been in business for the past 15 years or so. We cover the breadth and depth of all products SAP. So we are a services provider only for SAP and their software products. So my particular role in the organization is the service line director for our analytics practice. And so I serve in that role, and from a delivery perspective as well as a sales and a pre-sales perspective.
So we're here at this conference, and analytics is such a hot topic. Are you seeing that on the front lines? I mean, are people coming to you and saying, we know we need to do something better with our big data by analytics? Help us. I mean, I guess that's the dream scenario, right?
But yeah, it is.
But if they could only all be that easy. But what are their top concerns around analytics? What are you hearing?
Sure. So I think part of the issue is when they hear the word analytics, they don't really know what that term really means.
Right.
So I think that was the first thing. So really understanding what that term means to them, I would say it's probably one of the most important things. They hear a lot of words being thrown around the analytics in the analytics space, and they're getting confused a lot of times between what analytics is and what business intelligence is. Right. So to answer your question, they're primarily just wanting better information for their users and a better way to actually consume and analyze that information.
Do they need help? I mean, are you finding the majority of they need some real good help with this? Because what are you seeing inside their organizations?
Sure. What we do see is a lot of disparate systems of information and disparate systems of record. And there's no good way to, one, integrate that information, and then two, proliferate that information to the people that actually need access to it. So I think where most companies really struggle is understanding what data is really available to them, and then integrating that and then giving that or providing that to the people that actually need it or want to use it.
So how long do your engagements when these kind of things take? I mean, when you're going to work with a company,
Sure.
if they got disparate silos and things like that, does it take a long time to get things going, get the process going, and deliver that clear kind of, okay, here's what we'd like to help you with? And I'm just wondering how that kind of process works.
Sure.
What's your methodology for that?
Yeah, so it can be overwhelming for customers because they have so many sources of record and so many systems that they have to kind of think about.
Right.
So what we really try to do is first analyze a specific problem for them to fix. So without a specific problem to fix, you can get overwhelmed. So the process is really identifying a problem for the organization first, and then drilling down and kind of defining that use case or that business case for that problem, and then going and looking at the systems of record that would then feed information to solve that problem.
You must see all kinds of environments because you are an SAP shop.
Sure.
I mean, you're a consultancy. Are they coming and what are they looking for from SAP from you guys? I mean, because SAP, I think as we discussed in the past, has pretty broad portfolio of analytics solutions, and the business object suite is pretty darn wide.
Right.
So, what are they looking for in terms of that in the product set? Is it easy to kind of get them to where they need to go?
Yeah, sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't, but I think generally what they're looking for is that they're looking for some help just understanding what some of the capabilities really are, first of all. And then second of all, once they understand the capabilities, then really how do they actually get to that end state of where they want to be. So where we're able to actually help them is we understand the breadth of the portfolio of products, and we're able to help them understand their problem and then start to identify, I think, the appropriate tools that they can use to then help solve that problem.
Right. We've talked about, I like your term, self-service analytics versus spoon-fed. What is that all about?
So I think traditionally, because a lot of systems of record and databases, let's say, were so disparate, it was very, I think, difficult for any of the, what I'll call the end users of that information to really understand all the complexities of that data. So we had to, as technologists, go and ask them what do you want, and then we have to go back and figure out how it all works, and then we'll just spoon feed that to them. With the rise of some of the new analytic solutions that are out there, so some of the data exploration tools. So with the rise of those, we're actually able now to provide those tools to customers and then kind of set up that environment, but it really allows them to then hypothesize like they wanted to do a long time ago. The kind of the challenge has been over the last, I would say, 3 or 5 years is that the data sets have been so large that they want to analyze.
Right.
Therein lies the kind of the big data problem. So the combination of the tools on the what I'll call the business intelligence tools, in addition to the in-memory database solutions, has really allowed us now to stop spoon-feeding information to our customers, but rather set up an environment to where they can actually really do that themselves.
Because most users enjoy consumer experiences interacting with data. I had someone in here we were talking about, they can go to weather.com and see weather data, which is a lot of big data, and it's easy. So they want to have control, just like they have in their personal lives and their business lives as well. I mean, are you seeing that as well, that trend?
Yeah, 100%. So people are very focused, at least within the business side, on certain answers that they want to consume or they want to ask of. They want to find the answers, but they want to ask questions of that information. So yeah, certainly I think we do see that quite a bit within the market today.
Right. One of the big future topics that we can get onto is predictive analytics.
Sure.
And I know this is something you're hearing about. What's Optimal's take on that, and how are you guys working with your clients there?
Right. So on the predictive side, there have always been some tools that have been out there that have been able to do things like prediction within using the data that they have today. So what SAP has done is they've basically taken a lot of those what I'll call hardcore data junkies and taken their algorithms and they've put them, kind of baked them into a tool set that the masses can now use and say, take a data source and let me apply these statistical algorithms to that information on my own, and then I can see that result. So really the predictive analysis product just enables the masses to do things they've never been able to do before. It also extends, so it's not just for the kind of, for anybody, but I can also take that and then I can use a lot of this like R-enabled types of algorithms that are out there in the market, and I can import those in and use those as well.
Because that's what users want, right? They want that control. They want to do it themselves.
Yes, I would completely agree. They certainly want to do it themselves. The challenge has been for most users, they don't really understand statistical algorithms, and they don't understand how to really use them in a most effective manner. This tool, I think, really attempts to try to do that for the masses.
We can't come to a conference like this and not discuss HANA a little bit, and I know obviously, although we didn't hear it too much today in Steve's keynote, but it kind of is underlying a lot of these analytics discussions.
Right.
What are customers who are maybe, well, I don't think I can use HANA analytics, or I don't understand it, or I can't afford it. What do they need to know going forward about HANA and analytics?
So what I think they need to know is that they can certainly use it. It's very valuable for both big data and for smaller data sets as well. One of the other things that I think a lot of customers don't recognize is the fact that there are what I'll call startup HANA initiatives going on. So you have, for instance, Amazon Web Services, which provides a HANA environment from a cloud-based perspective. SAP has a cloud for HANA. So there are actually some very cost-effective solutions to kind of try out HANA and really see what you can do with it. So you don't have to be a big data shop necessarily to appreciate or be able to utilize the capabilities that HANA really extends to your organization.
That's a great point. And SAP has been releasing like Lumira too, you can try it out for free. So they're really trying to seed some of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So the combination of the cloud-based products like Lumira and then some of the Explorer products that are not cloud-based but are more server-based, in conjunction with some of the cloud-based technologies from a HANA perspective, have really helped propel that removal of spoon-fed analytics really to that self-service environment that we spoke of just a few minutes ago.
Right. All right, so look into your crystal ball.
Sure.
2 to 3 years out, what will we be discussing here? What will be the top things around analytics we will be discussing when we do the interview in 3 years?
Sure, in 3 years from now. I think we'll probably be talking about how the analytics that we're seeing today are actually changing business process back on the front lines.
So the software is coming in and changing business processes, that's what you're saying?
Yeah, I would tend to argue that the software enables the capability to really understand how a business performs, and some of the capabilities that the business may need to change in order to kind of feed that life cycle.
Great. Well, I know you're coming off a lack of sleep. The Dev Wars, you're on the team this year. You guys were the winners last year.
Right.
So be sure to join us here at 6:30 Pacific time tonight for the Dev Wars kickoff.
Yeah.
And you will be up on stage.
I will be up on stage. Yes, very much so, and I'll be hard to miss. I can say that.
Can you give us a little about what your guys came up with? Can you give us a little sneak peek?
Sure, I can, and I'll try to be brief with it. So what we've done is there is a nonprofit organization that helps to enable young students, underprivileged students, try to get through school and be more academically successful. So what we really tried to do was come up with a solution that enabled not only the mentors that are in the program to really understand how they're influencing those students, but also to flip that on its head and allow the students and their parents then to understand how the mentors really interact and become kind of a circle of influence around their children or their nieces or nephews or whatever the case may be.
Very
so
cool.
We really try to come up with the comprehensive solutions from both sides of the equation, not just for the organization itself, but actually for the people that they service.
So we're going to see some cool data visualizations tonight, I think.
I can promise that you'll definitely see some very interesting visualizations.
Great.
Yes.
Well, thanks for coming in, Jeremy.
No,
Again,
great.
it's great
Thanks
to
for
talk
having
with
me.
you.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Stay tuned for more videos and live interviews from SAP Business Objects User Conference 2013. We are live here in the ASUG News Studio, which is sponsored by Optimal Solutions.